Tigers win the Baton Rouge Regional last night. I just heard Jacob Beck call head coach Jay Johnson and said, Coach, how you doing? And I have a feeling the answer was that he's doing pretty well. I guess I can ask him now. We have Jay Johnson on the show joining us on Jim's Firearms Hotline. I'll ask you the same question. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Hunt. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm a little tired. Did you get any rest last night?
Finally shut my eyes about 3:15 and woke up about 6:15 and fully charged after a great night at the box. And that's the first thing I want to say is that was my personal best experience in 4 years in the stadium. I mean, that was electric, and the fans really, really made a difference in that game last night, and excited to be able to give them a super regional here next weekend.
I've been in that stadium when things get a little tense towards the potential end of a season because things aren't going very well, and that's an uncomfortable thing. And I noticed, like you said last night in the press conference, that it wasn't like that. Even when it got to 5-1, there was a lot of support that was coming. You mentioned that in the press conference, but it was really noticeable. Did the team take notice of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think, there was one point in the 5-run inning was tough. I went out there to the mound. Just, we had the first error we had made in the infield in what seemed like a month. The blue single kind of fell in, and felt like that was a chance right there where it could get off the rails if we didn't handle it right. And Kaysen did a great job bearing down and getting us out of that inning. And then the dugout response was just great. And where the fans made the difference is we got the bases loaded, Jake flied out to left, and it kind of had this exasperating feeling. But the very next inning, we got a couple runners on, and the enthusiasm in the stadium really was at an elite level. And then Ethan delivered the clutch hit we needed, and they took over the game after that, and they made it really hard on our opponent's pitchers to concentrate, throw strikes, and execute because of the energy in the stadium. And something I'm very grateful for. And when you talk about home field advantage, that's like nothing I've ever seen in college baseball last night.
Kaysen Evans was pretty good, too. What did you expect from him? I'm assuming you thought you might get a few more than 4 outs from Zach, but you handed Kaysen the ball in the second. What was your realistic expectation for him from there?
Yeah, the plan going in, and again, you think about Game 7s of the World Series in the major leagues. I remember the Giants one year in 2014 won it. I don't even remember who started, but they gave it to Jeremy Affeldt for like 7 outs to get it to Madison Bumgarner to close. So we kind of had one of those plans lined out. I would have been happy had Zach got into the 4th inning, and then I felt like Kaysen could get us the rest to get to Anthony. We just felt like we needed to make a move with, how that inning was going, and kind of figure it out later. And he just kept going. I mean, literally to the point it got to where I sent him out for the 8th because I was like, he deserves the right to win this game by himself. Honestly, with that's the best individual pitching performance maybe I've ever seen. I think he struck out like 8 guys in a row, and we really just had the momentum in our dugout largely because he was going out there and going 1-2-3 and 1-2-3 and 1-2-3 in dominant fashion. So what a performance by him. I think he's one of the most important recruits that we've gotten since I've been here. I felt that way from the time that he verbally committed to us, signed with us, got through the draft, and he's obviously had as good a year as any freshman pitcher in the country.
You mentioned 8 strikeouts in a row. It was actually 9. He struck out the entire order consecutively at one point in the game. I wanted to ask you this question in the press conference last night, but they didn't get a microphone to me. So I'll ask it to you now. I was so impressed with one of the plays Kaysen made that wasn't a pitch. That bunt and his ability to come off the mound and get that lead runner. Have you coached that? And then what did that look like from your perspective in the dugout when he made that play in the 8th inning?
Yeah, I will say Little Rock's one of the best coached teams that we've played. They were incredibly prepared. They were incredibly aggressive. They execute really well. So Thursday, we went through, basically our bunt defenses, and he was a shortstop in high school, and so the decision was easy. Once they got to first and second, they were the home team down 2. We believed they were going to bunt to try to get the tying run to second because that's the character in which they played in all year, and he's one of our best pitcher fielders that we have. And so I made the decision, hey, this is his last hitter. We're going to leave him in to field the bunt, and then we're going to go to Anthony. And he got off the mound well. It wasn't actually that bad of a bunt, but he's such a good athlete. With the bunt defense we put on, he pounced on it, got the lead out, and I thought that was the right time to go to Anthony at that point.
Another play that one of your freshmen made that I noticed, this was on Sunday. It was the first run of the game. Curiel comes around third, and the ball's down the right field line. And I don't know if Coach Jordan said anything or not, but the ball kind of got fumbled, and there was a delay, and then Curiel just took off. Was that coach, or is that just a guy that knows what he's doing out there?
I don't know that there's a better feel for the game player at his age than Derek that I've seen in college baseball. I actually stopped for a second and was like, oh, okay, bases loaded, no outs, we're fine, let's go. And then he took off running and was saved by a lot, which I love to see. He's a great instinctual player, and again, like Kaysen, these are the two guys that you really believed had a chance to be successful immediately, and it's just more their competitiveness, their athleticism, and their aggressiveness, and we got to see all of that out of both of them this weekend.
Okay, last night, Glenn West asked you the question about showing some emotion after Jared's home run in the ninth inning. I missed that, and then I went and tried to look back on YouTube anywhere at the highlights, and I still haven't seen it, but you spoke about it last night. Can you kind of go through that story of y'all's journey, what y'all did yesterday, and then what you felt when he finally connected with that ball to give y'all some insurance?
Yeah, for the most part, it's well documented. As a freshman, he came in, hit 14 homers, national champion, big contributor to that team, freshman All-American. Didn't play at the end because I made a decision what was best for that team to try to win the national championship, included a little bit different formula. And then last year, really improved, 28 homers, really improved the plate discipline. This year, improved the plate discipline, had cut down on the swing and miss, and had kind of, hit a real rough patch lately, which is tough for our team because when he goes, we're almost impossible to beat, like type deal. Like that's his contribution to our team. And all through 3 years, but really this year, whenever we need to get him on track, we've kind of had a real specific way we've gone about doing that, and it's worked every single time. And then this time, it's been a little slower to get to it, and I could just see how much it was bothering him that he wasn't contributing in the way he wanted to for our team's sake. And so yesterday, it wasn't long, but we went right back to it. I walked away from it with a pretty good feeling like, okay, that's as close to right as he's been. And he was. Once he hit the line drive to right in the second at bat, I believe, I thought that was a good starting point, good step. Jackson Wells made a pretty good pitch on him, got him out, and then he was really in a good approach in that last at bat. They went to the mound, so it gave me a chance to call an offensive timeout and talk to him. And it was like, hey, this is a homer or a take and no in between. Like if he throws it at your belt, hit a homer. If he doesn't, don't swing. And for the first time in your career, I'm giving you the take 3-0. But I'm really glad the way that it worked out. He did it. And it's just, he cares a lot. He works hard, and a lot of personal gratification in seeing him succeed last night.
Over the course of 60 games, there's a lot of up and downs. We've seen it for Curiel, who broke out this week, seen it for maybe Shores, up and down. He's had some real highs. Right now, Zach's kind of in a little bit of a rut, and last night wasn't his best. What do you tell him this week, and where's y'all's confidence in him as you move to the Super?
Well, my confidence in him is as high as it could possibly be. We're not here in this position without Zach Cowan. To be a first-team All-SEC performer, that's real nowadays. If you think about the arm talent in the league, but it speaks to his performance. The makeup, the character, pitchability, I'll bet on that all day, every day. And I'm actually going to meet with him here shortly, to be honest with you, and touch base and get where he's at and get him set for a good week and get him ready to go for the weekend.
Two more, because I know you got a super busy week. How cool was it for Skip to be able to come out and address the team after they win the regional?
I've said this before. The best part of this job for me personally is the relationship I have with him, and the engagement level that he has is special, friendship special, mentorship special, and ironically, I actually just missed a call from him, so I'm going to hang up with you here in a minute, and I'm going to give Coach a call.
Well, goodness, that's my bad, and I very much apologize. Yeah. And the last one I wanted to ask was about phone calls. I know the transfer portal is open. How much time do you have to spend on that this week as you get prepared for a Super?
Well, it's running a program and running a team. My focus is running the team to get them prepared to play great this weekend and give them the chance that they've worked hard to go to Omaha and compete for a national championship, which I believe this team's capable of doing. And then there's the other part of it where you got to put that hat on because we want to have as many bites at that apple as we possibly can. And, we're obviously going to lose really good players from this team in the professional draft for the third year in a row. And so we need to pay attention to it. I've really only made 2 calls today to players. We're setting the bar incredibly high. I think next year's team, the foundation of it is in the program right now, and we're being really picky and really specific and setting a high bar.
Coach, congratulations on the weekend. Best of luck this weekend. We'll see you at the box on Saturday. Appreciate the time.
All right. Have a great day.
Sure will. That's Jay Johnson, head coach of the Fighting Tigers. Busy guy.